Thank you everyone for being here. I'm really excited about this here in the ClickBank headquarters. Amazing building, amazing team. Thank you to everyone that put this all together. Chris said it very, very well. This is not the most exciting topic of this summit. I know that for sure. But it is absolutely one of the most important. And one of the things that I really like to tell entrepreneurs that we work with, if I came on here and I said, all of you that are here live, I'm going to give you $10,000. I would become the most popular person. I'd be your favorite, right? Unfortunately, I am not going to do that. I'm sorry. But over the next hour, I want to give you valuable information that you can take away and say that is going to impact and help my business by structuring myself the right way and saving me money in taxes. Because if I can show you ways on how to save $10,000 in taxes, isn't that the same as generating an additional $10,000? When you're able to compound both and you're able to generate more revenue, keep the main thing, but also give yourself the ability to save more money in taxes, obviously that is going to put you, your family, and your business in a much better position. So as Chris mentioned, my name's Tommy Thornburgh. I'm the president of Prime Corporate Services. And the four major areas that we focus on are entity structure, business credit development, tax prep, tax filing, and even estate planning to protect your legacy. I know that we have people all over the world, and Prime Corporate does primarily focus on US-based companies. However, we do have a lot of clients that are international that would like or need some sort of a US presence. So once again, I'll make sure to include everyone and give all of you some takeaways that will absolutely benefit and impact your overall situation and your overall business. As I go through this, please remember, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Pay less, earn more. And when we have the ability to know what our profit and loss is, it makes it a lot easier for you to be able to make educated business decisions. One of the challenges that I will have for you is this year, I really want everyone to think about breaking your year up into months or quarters. So for quarters, we go January, February, March, quarter one, April, May, June, quarter two, so on and so forth. Going into the fourth quarter, October, November, December, when you know your profit and your loss, it allows you the ability to make more educated business decisions. Can you invest into more marketing? Can you invest into the computer or the laptop or the iPad that you've been wanting that's going to better your business in the future and allow that to be a business-related expense? So for today's key points, first of all, let's talk about different types of business entities. LLCs, S corporations, C corporations. When you look these things up on good old YouTube University, it'll make your head spin because there's so many different thoughts and opinions. What I want to do is I want to give you a couple things to be able to ask yourself. Ask your CPAs, ask your attorneys, so that you know if you're set up the right way to protect your assets and maximize on your taxes. Number two, what is a tax deduction? How in the world does it work? How can it benefit my business to keep more money in my corner to allow me the ability to grow and scale at a more rapid pace? Number three, asset protection and generational wealth. The way that I like to explain this one is, it's not about where you are right now. It's where you're going to be in 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, and beyond. I've got two little girls. You'll hear me talk about them for the next hour. I apologize. But I'm really big on this one because if I can help impact their financial literacy while benefiting my business, I'm changing the trajectory of my family in understanding how to run and how to operate not only a business, but finances, right? I graduated high school and I'm waiting for algebra to come across my desk. It's yet to happen. Unfortunately, these are things that a lot of people don't learn. Taxes, how to purchase a home, how to balance a budget, and they're things that you have to deal with year in and year out. Number 4, last but not least, personal credit versus business credit. How you can build and develop a separate credit profile that allows you the ability to grow, scale, and help more people, right? In the 200,000 plus businesses that we've helped structure, I am yet to meet an entrepreneur that says, I wish I had less money. That hasn't happened, right? And the reason for it is when you don't need money, I kind of joke that everyone and their mother sends you a credit card application. When you need money, it tends to be a little bit more difficult to come across. So if you can plan accordingly, build personal credit and build business credit, once again, it makes it easier to run and operate not only your life, but also your business. All right, before we jump into it here, everyone's favorite part. I'm sorry. I know I'm killing the mood with the legal disclaimer. Here's a fun, useless fact for you. Did you know that if you read every legal disclaimer that was presented before you over the course of a year, it would actually take you a year to read it? Kind of scary, right? On this legal disclaimer, though, 2 things that I want to be very clear on. First of all of your situations are different. Some of you are married, some of you have kids, some of you already have multiple businesses, and that is going to change your overall picture. The second component, I am not a CPA, I am not an attorney. Both of them work within the organization. Combined, I have over 100 CPAs and attorneys total, but I get to talk to you today as an investor and as an entrepreneur. I own multiple businesses, I have over 400 employees, and all that really means is that I have made a lot of mistakes. And that's what I want to share with you today is when you make mistakes, how you can recover, when you make financial decisions, how they can feel more calculated so that you know when you spend $1, how that's going to reflect in your bottom line, and how you can make sure that you keep the trajectory on building and growing a great business. All right, so let's talk a little bit about taxes. Now, this is going to be more US based when I talk about the tax code. But once again, for those of you that are international and need some sort of a US presence, when you have a US entity, you do need to file your taxes. Okay? Benjamin Franklin said the 2 guarantees in this life are death and taxes. While extremely depressing, there is some truth to it. We have to file taxes every year, and the tax code is a game. It really is not that old. Individual tax income did not become a thing until 1913. That's fairly recent, all things considered. So when you're filing your taxes, how do you know how to play the game? There are now over 70,000 pages of a tax code. And a lot of those tax codes benefit investors and entrepreneurs. I tell people all the time, when you have a home office, when you have a home-based business, like most of you already do, once you write off your home office, once you're able to write off your phone and your internet, it's something that you incorporate into your life because you see the value, you see the benefit in how much money that saves you on an annual basis. So I want to give you a quick example. For those of you that are visual like myself, what does this really mean? How does this really impact my situation? Here is an example of a client that we had a couple years ago that made right around $100,000. Now, on the federal level, $100,000 falls at a 22% tax rate, as you can see. So I always tell people, when I say it's not what you make, it's what you keep, you didn't make $100,000 if we're handing $14,000 over in the form of taxes. For this example, we didn't even include any state tax, but if you're in Massachusetts, New York, California, you're going to end up paying an additional amount for your state income tax as well. Social Security and Medicare step in and take some of those additional funds. So look at this bottom line here. On total tax, you make $100,000 and end up paying just over $20,000 in taxes. You didn't make 100, you made closer to 80. And if you look at that from a profit and a loss standpoint, it really helps you understand that being a business owner, having a ClickBank account, continuing to focus on what it is that you're doing in this business will benefit you from a tax standpoint, whether you're brand new, just getting started, or already off to the races and generating income. So what can we do about it? That's really the question here. I wanted to set the tone, but I want you to have some actual actionable items that can keep more money in your quarter. We just made the $80,000. Taxes don't stop there. Property tax, gas tax, sales tax, city and county tax. Number 9, you're so depressed about all these taxes that you're paying, you go and you get a drink and you end up paying a tax on the alcohol. There's a sin tax that's included, right? It is never ending. And when I say it's a game, this is what I mean. You're taxed on tax on tax, but there is a solution. And all of you are at the right place for that reason. When you legitimize yourself as a business, you truly open the doors to give yourself the opportunity to run and operate with deductible expenses. So let's talk about that. For those of you that are just getting started, for those of you this is the first time you've even considered being self-employed, there is no tax code that says you have to be great at running a business. No one would be in business. It's tough. There's always challenges, right? But there is a tax code that says as long as you show the intent, you can take business-related deductions. So with that being said, the reason that I don't recommend informal business structures such as sole proprietorships, general partnerships, or simply just operating under your name and even your social security number is there's no asset protection. There's very limited tax benefits. So obviously a very biased opinion. This is what I do for a living. But I do firmly believe that everyone should be self-employed to some extent. Whether it's, call it a side hustle, or a side business, or full-time self-employment. Okay? Starting as an LLC is beautiful. And the reason that I love LLCs is because they're simple. They're easy. They allow you the ability to make changes on an annual basis depending on your income or depending on your situation. As you're generating income, that's when we can really start to look at how the LLC is taxed, how you are structured. Because once you're making money, we want to consider changing that LLC so that it's taxed as an S corporation. For those of you that are already making money, I know there's a significant amount of you, make sure that if you're generating active income, you have an S corporation election, or if you're international, a C corp election where it can be a B2B, business to business transaction. These are all the areas that I want you to be able to review. And whether we're helping you or your accountant or your CPA, please, please write this down. Whenever you're setting up a business entity, here are the 3 things that I feel everyone should take into consideration and ask themselves when they're setting up a business. Number 1, privacy and protection. How much privacy do you want? Okay, I don't want my name and my address listed on a state website. Not all states are created equal when it comes to corporate law. We'll talk more about that here later. But write that down. Number 1 is privacy and protection. From a protection standpoint, make sure that you're separating your personal and your business. That's what I mean there. Okay, number 2, tax benefits, profit or loss. That's really important. Good or bad, profit or loss, how do you put yourself in a better position? For example, as you start to generate income, when we change to that S corp election, if you make the $100,000 as I talked about earlier, It allows you to avoid half of your self-employment tax, which is Medicare and Social Security. It saves you about 7%. So if you go make that $100,000, it's $7,000 back in your pocket as opposed to Uncle Sam's. Okay, my mom always said, you can't choose your family, so get over it. I unfortunately have become my mom. I shouldn't say unfortunately, I fortunately have become my mom. And I say you can't choose your business partner. And when you're operating in the US, one of those business partners is Uncle Sam. Taxes are something that are going to continue to be there. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to become an accountant. But if you focus on what you enjoy and you hire out the rest, it allows you the ability to not only have the time freedom, the financial freedom, but also the freedom of doing what you like, what you want, and what you enjoy. Okay, so that's number 2 is tax benefits. Number 3 is credibility. Show yourself as a legitimate business, not only to your clientele, but to banks and lenders as well. I've operated 6, 7, 8, and even 9-figure businesses. And when I say credibility, here's what I mean. Even when you're just getting started, one of my favorite moments, I've been self-employed since I was 18 years old, and one of my favorite financial accolades was opening my first business bank account. There was $25 in that account. I remember walking out with my folder and I'm feeling good. I've got a business bank account. I get to tell my mom I'm self-employed. There was $25 in that account. And from a psychology standpoint, I always think about that for those of you that are brand new business owners. You're the owner of that business. You're the president. You're the CEO. Play that part and set yourself up accordingly. So those are the 3: privacy and protection, tax benefits, profit or loss, and credibility. Ask yourself that as you're structuring and as you're operating this business. Once you have your business entity in place, LLC or corporation, for those of you that are international, that would be more comparable to a sole trader, a sole proprietorship, or a limited or an incorporated, for example. But now we have the ability to open up the doors to business-related expenses. When you're spending $1, ask yourself, is this something that is ordinary, necessary, helpful, or appropriate for me to go generate more income? Because your phone bill, your internet bill, your power bill, your ClickBank subscriptions, your marketing, any softwares that you need to purchase, your computer, your laptop, good luck running this business without the internet, right? All of those become business-related expenses. And what I really try and help people understand here is taxes don't have to become rocket science. Last year, we filed over 50,000 tax forms. And guess what the number 1 reason is as to why our clients saved an average of $9,200 more than the previous year? It's simple. It's very easy. Tracking expenses. That's simple. You don't remember what you had for lunch last Tuesday. You're not going to remember if it was business related a month from now. So what are the best ways to track and organize your expenses? If you like getting into the details and you're okay taking a little bit of extra time, QuickBooks is really the mecca when it comes to bookkeeping. A lot of our bookkeepers use QuickBooks. A lot of companies use QuickBooks. If you want to get familiar with QuickBooks, great. Log in on a weekly or a monthly or a quarterly basis and say what is or is not business related. But you could even use an Excel spreadsheet. You could use one designated credit card that puts all of your business-related expenses on that one particular card. What's beautiful about credit card companies now is they have resources where you can check what you spent and what it was on. The point that I want to drive home here is when you track your expenses, it is much easier, and we have found that our average client saves $9,200 a year by implementing and tracking and organizing these expenses. If you're traveling to events, if you have hotels, if you have airfare, whatever it is that you need to run and operate your business, please track those business-related expenses. Now, as you start to generate revenue, and those of you that are already there, the U.S. tax code, as I mentioned earlier, has tens of thousands of pages. Now, you don't have to just spend money on buying a G-Wagon or a Range Rover like YouTube recommends. Obviously, those can be deductible if they're tied to your business as well. But there's really cool tax codes. I can't believe I'm saying that. There are cool tax codes that can help your business based off of your financial goals. One of the things that I will tell you is that nobody cares about your money more than you do. I've had financial planners that have said, Tommy, I don't make money unless you make money. If I lose money, are you going to lose money? I don't think so. So what aligns with your lifestyle? Those of you that have children, how can you help them? How can you have them help you with your business? So just to use this as an example, I mentioned earlier I have 2 little girls. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. The tax code is always changing. Every year there are changes that come out, and there are changes that are published on the IRS website. So for 2024, both of my girls made $14,500. My business paid them for services that benefited and helped my business. I get the deduction as a business owner. They didn't happen to make enough money to file a tax return. So now I get to teach them financial literacy. They can pay for their sports, they can pay for their school, they can pay for their activities. Or, I kind of joke, my 3-year-old was like, Dad, should we put some of this money into an IRA or a life insurance policy so this is $1 million by the time I'm 25? I was like, that's a great idea, honey. How come I didn't think of that? These are things that we didn't learn in school. And if we can help our children while benefiting our business, it's a win-win-win. I call it a grandma's deal. As long as everyone wins, I love that. For 2025, that standard deduction amount increases to $15,000. Okay, now if there's accountants on here or CPAs watching this, you guys are fuming at what I just said. You don't like what I just said. Because you're thinking, what can a 1 and a 3-year-old do to help your business, Tommy? Right? Well, my daughters are models. They look like their mother. If they looked like me, they would not qualify to be models, let's be honest. But they look like their mother, so they qualify. Last I checked, models make money. I have my girls on my website for my branding. I have my girls that help on the rental properties that I own. And as I mentioned, I could have paid a couple model children. I just happen to have 2 that live in my house that are helping my business. So you do have to do something that they're actually helping, they're actually benefiting your business. But this is a great tax code that can better your entire family. Another higher level strategy, once you're generating income, I love this tax code. We have tens of thousands of our clients that implement this directly into their business. If we have any golf fans, you know that the Masters Golf Tournament every year is in Augusta, Georgia. Now, fortunately for all of us as business owners, back in the 1970s, a gentleman rented out his house, left town, and got audited because he didn't claim the income for renting out his house when the Masters came to Augusta, Georgia. Now, we've all heard the saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? This gentleman got it passed through Congress, passed through the Senate, and it is now Section 280A of the tax code if you'd like to look it up. It's referenced as the Augusta Rule. Now, what this rule says is you can rent your house out up to 14 days a year tax-free. Okay, what does that mean? How I implement this strategy into my business is on the 5th of every month, I have a rental agreement. My business rents out my house. And I go over my minutes, my meetings, my bookkeeping, my monthly goals, my quarterly goals, my annual goals. I track it and I transfer money on an agreed amount that's reasonable for my area from my business to my personal account. Okay, saves me $10,000 to $20,000 a year in taxes, but I don't have to claim the income on the personal side. These are things that you are going to do anyways. If I told you that I did that once a month and rented out the conference room of a local hotel, none of you would bat an eyelash that that's a business-related expense, right? It's repurposing and using it for what's best for your business. And that's what I love about this business model. You get to work from home. You get to make your own rules. But there's areas within the tax code that you don't have to frivolously spend money just to save money on taxes. Let's align it with your life. Let's align it with your goals. Let's align it with the ability for you to operate at your house in whatever sector that you choose and continue to grow and continue to scale. Okay? All right, that's enough on taxes. I could go on and on about tax savings. Because one thing I can tell you is being self-employed since I was 18 years old, there's no way that the companies grow and scale if I didn't obsess over things like this. Taxes are one of the biggest expenses that successful entrepreneurs deal with on an annual basis. And having a little bit of planning and proactively planning throughout the course of the year, as opposed to reactively filing your taxes at the end of the year, is really what makes a difference. If I had our attorney come out here and speak, they would spend 45 minutes talking to you about asset protection. I do know that asset protection is extremely important. I'm probably going to spend 45 seconds by wrapping it up and telling you this. It is a sue-happy world that we are living in. I doubt that we'll argue about that. 40 million lawsuits filed every year. It's an average of 76 a minute. Crazy, right? It's not if you get sued, but when you get sued. Depressing, bear with me here, feel free to write that down. It's not if you get sued, but when you get sued. Totally different business model. But those of you that grow, those of you that scale, those of you that have multiple streams of income, separate your online business from your real estate investments. Okay, separate your passion project from something else that you're doing. If this is the main focus and this is what you're doing, separate your personal from your business. But if we set it up with the thought in mind of, once again, it's not if you get sued, but when you get sued, now you keep the main thing the main thing. You focus on generating income. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. One of my favorite books is called Rocket Fuel by Gino Wickman. And what I love about that book is he does an amazing job identifying two different types of personalities in business: visionaries and integrators. My partner, Steve Harward, CEO of Prime Corporate, is a total visionary. I swear to you, he can look 5 years down. He puts glasses on and he just sees 5 years into the future on how we're going to generate income together. Me, on the other hand, I'm more of the integrator. I like doing the work. I like doing the research. I'm a weirdo. I'll go to irs.gov and read a tax code like I'm the most excited human in the world, right? We complement each other very well. But I tell you that because understanding what it is that you like to do will help you grow your business. You either partner with people that complement you or you hire out the rest. And when you like being that visionary to go and generate income and create amazing relationships, you're not going to want to do the bookkeeping. Hire it out and enjoy your lifestyle, enjoy your business. If you're a little bit more like me and you like doing the work, you like understanding the details, you may be worried if you crossed a T or dotted an I. And you may be your worst enemy in holding yourself up or keeping yourself up at night. I share that with you because they're both beautiful. Business needs both of those. And when you have the good idea on what it is that you want to do and you can keep on focusing, generating income, make sure these things are set up properly so that if there's a lawsuit or if there's a large tax bill, you can navigate it and you can continue to run your business. Okay? All right, I told you that I was going to be quick on asset protection. So I want to pivot here and talk about something totally different. Now, this section is going to be more US based. For those of you that are international, I'm sorry, I hate to exclude you in any of this. Tax codes, taxes, all of those things are obviously applicable for any of you, no matter where you are. But business credit is something that is more US based. So for those of you that are US based, if you look at the personal side, I like this visual because you have a legal name. You have a social security number or an ITIN. You have a personal FICO credit score that ranges from 300 to 850, right? Hard to build, easy to ruin. We on the same page there? Do the same thing for your business. Let's make sure that you have a legitimate business name. Let's make sure you have an EIN or an employer identification number. Open up a separate business bank account, right? Personal is personal, business is business. But you can also build and develop a paydex score. It's a business credit profile that is separate from your personal credit. Okay, some of you may be thinking, I don't need that, I don't want that. That's fine, this is not a requirement, but as I mentioned in the beginning, I've never met an entrepreneur that says, having less money is good for my business. Okay, my mother always says, you give a good person more money, they do good things most of the time. You give a bad person more money, they're going to do bad things. Money is a tool. Credit is a tool. And if this can be one more tool in your belt that helps you grow, helps you scale, becomes more recession-proof to have multiple streams of income, I would consider that a massive win. We had a client about 7 or 8 years ago that came to us and had this amazing idea. He wanted to turn those really cool Sprinter vans, they're like the Amazon box trucks, into camper vans. So utilizing business credit, setting up the proper business entity, he ended up getting a Sprinter van, remodeling it with business credit, and ended up selling these really cool Mercedes Sprinter vans for a $20,000 profit. He sold it, he built it, he did it again, ended up on Shark Tank. And to this day, it's a multi-million dollar business. Now, very extreme example, I know. Really, really cool success story. But I don't know what you would potentially need this for. Remember, it's not about where you are right now. And I want to underpromise and overdeliver here. This takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. But if in a year, if in 5 years, you have additional lines of credit with lower interest rates, I have a hard time thinking it doesn't help you diversify or grow your business to a whole nother level. So take this into consideration. We're currently getting over $4 million a month in business credit and corporate funds for our clients. This is something that even if you're just getting started, you can start to build this credit profile. I love business credit. This is something I also am very, very passionate about. Last thing here, and then I would love to open it up and answer a couple of your questions, but think with the end in mind. I can't say it enough. Your business is your opportunity for additional growth. When I first got started, if you told me that I was going to be buying properties and owning the businesses that I do, I would have called you crazy. And remember, it's because I have more of that integrator personality. I don't even know what I'm going to have for lunch today, let alone the business that I'm going to open up over the next couple of years. So if you're just getting started, you don't in any way, shape, or form need all of this. You may not even need any of it. But for those of you that are more of that visionary personality and you know where you're going, you have the vision on what you want to do with your business, I challenge you to think about this for what's best for you and why. Up top, protect your assets. Everyone should have an estate plan at some point. Trust, will, living will, power of attorney. Okay, if you don't have it today, it doesn't mean you need it tomorrow, but put it on the vision board, put it on the why wall, put it on the to-do list for next year. Having the trust, the will, the living will, and the power of attorney to avoid probate and help protect your assets is amazing. I'm a little bit of a hypocrite I've been doing this for 13 years, like I said earlier. I didn't finish mine until my daughter was born about 3 years ago. That was the first time I was like, holy cow, I really love this thing a lot. If something happens to me, I want to make sure that she's taken care of. I don't want the state to step in and take a lot of that money for no reason. From there, how much privacy and protection do you want? Those of you that want some additional privacy, or those of you that are international that want a US-based business, Delaware, Nevada, Wyoming, these are great states. My personal favorite is Wyoming. I have a holding company that is based out of Wyoming, and it doesn't even do any business. It owns my other businesses so that if my consulting business gets sued, they don't see that Tommy Thornburgh's the owner and my address. They see that it's owned by a company that's out of Wyoming where my name is not publicly listed. Now, here's what I will tell you. I know this is a lot of information. And for those of you that have been in business for a long time, I hope there's some tax strategies that you're going to say, I need to implement that. That's going to save me money in taxes. But for those of you that are brand new, if this felt overwhelming, if this felt like a lot of information, that wasn't my goal and that wasn't my intention. I wanted to give everyone value. If you're brand new, starting with just a simple LLC and treating and operating as a business, it allows you the ability to write off startup expenses, write off organizational expenses. I really, really want you to crawl before you walk and walk before you run and operate this business at a comfort level that is best for you. So no matter what that is, no matter where you are in your journey, due to the honor of being able to be a part of this ClickBank Summit, I wanted to offer each and every one of you the opportunity to schedule a free one-on-one consultation with one of our advisors. If you're brand new and this felt overwhelming, when you schedule this call, let us know that it was brand new and it was a little bit overwhelming. And let's break it down for you so that you can speak the language for your situation. If you're a seasoned vet, if you're already generating income, feel free to schedule this call and say, hey, you know, Tommy bored me half to death, but there are a couple tax strategies I need to implement to keep more money in your corner. No matter where you are in your business, this is a very special offer for those of you that are attending the ClickBank Summit. So scan the QR code or go to primepartner.info/ClickBank Summit to schedule a free hour consultation. Okay? Last giveaway, and then I'd love to turn it over for some additional Q&A. Myself and my team, I can't take all the credit, even though my name is on the book. We put together a book called From Vision to Venture. And I would like to give it away to you for free. Not only do I want to give you a free consultation, I want to give you the opportunity to get this ebook for totally free. Text PROFIT to 385-213-1984, and we will send you a copy of this Vision to Venture book on what my experience has been being self-employed for over 15 years, helping over 200,000 business owners take visions to ventures, the trials, the errors, the mistakes, the wins, the tax savings, wrapped up in this short ebook for each and every one of you for free. So thank you so much. Once again, I really, really hope this was valuable information. Even if it was one takeaway, I hope that that betters your business, saves you money in taxes, and separates your personal and your business for long-term growth.